The door creaked open, revealing a dark and dusty room. Emma stepped inside, her flashlight beam dancing around the cobwebs that hung like macabre decorations from the ceiling. "Hello!" she called out, her voice echoing strangely in the stillness. "Is anyone here?" But who, through her will, had stipulated that Emma should not only pay for the upkeep of the house, but also live in it? It was an odd request, especially since the house came with a hefty price tag and a host of problems. The roof leaked, the plumbing was ancient, and there was more than one floor that threatened to collapse under the weight of neglect. The old house seemed to hold its breath, the silence pressing against her ears like a physical force. This was it, the attic of the Blackwood Manor. The final frontier in her quest to restore the grand old house to its former glory. With a shiver, she reached out to dust the doll, but as her fingers brushed against its cold surface, a sudden crash from somewhere in the attic made her jump. The beam of her flashlight flickered wildly, catching on a glint of metal in the corner of the room. It was the reflection. The attic was empty, save for the doll and the trunks. Yet the reflection showed a girl in a Victorian nightgown standing behind Emma. Was it a trick of the light? A figment of her imagination? Or was there something sinister lurking in the attic's shadows? The doll with its vacant stare seemed to mock her, and the attic became a place she avoided, the metallic scent lingering at the back of her throat. As she moved closer, her breath caught in her throat. Its pages, brittle with age, chronicled the life of the woman Emma barely knew. And as Emma read, a chilling entry stopped her. But what she found up here would change all that. Emma had inherited this house from her great-aunt, a woman she'd barely known. The metallic scent hung heavy in the air. Drawn by an unseen force, Emma found herself climbing the attic stairs. A wave of dizziness swept over her. Was this the ghost of Clara, the little girl from the diary? Kata had she manifested to show Emma her charred remains? The trunk shuddered, and from its depths rose a wisp of black smoke. Then, to Emma's horror, the smoke coalesced, taking the shape of a little girl in a nightgown. The room was a jumble of broken furniture, moth-eaten carpets, and cobweb-draped trunks. Clara's eyes locked onto hers, and for a moment Emma saw understanding dawn in those bottomless pits. Emma screamed as she felt icy fingers dig into her flesh, dragging her toward the trunk. She clawed at the air, trying to free herself from the grasp of the ghostly child. As the apparition approached, Emma could see more clearly. "I keep seeing her up there, the little girl in the nightgown." Her lips, pulled back in a silent scream, revealed teeth that were too sharp, too long, not human. The diary seemed to glow in the dim attic light, and for a moment Clara hesitated, her eyes flickering with surprise. Her arms, gnarled and twisted, ended in hands that were skeletal claws. And as she did, the air grew lighter, the oppressive gloom lifting slightly. With trembling hands, she opened the diary and began reading aloud. Slowly, Clara's form began to shimmer, her outlines blurring. Is she real, or just a figment of my overactive imagination? Emma sank to her knees, the diary slipping from her grasp. The house was quiet now, the oppressive presence lifted. The attic became a battleground, a struggle between Emma's fading consciousness and the relentless pull of the ghostly girl. Soon, new sounds filled the house, the clatter of hammers, the scrape of shovels, the murmur of voices. As the first rays of dawn crept through the attic window, Clara's form flickered one last time before vanishing entirely. If you enjoyed this haunted house story, stay tuned for more terrifying tales. Memories flooded Emma's mind, the diary entries, the doll, the metallic scent. It all made sense now. This house had its secrets, its pain, its sorrow, but it also had its beauty, its history, its life. The house is alive with whispers and shadows. I can feel her presence like a shroud, heavy and cold. With a surge of adrenaline, she lunged for it, snatching it up and holding it aloft. Clara dragged her towards the trunk, her sharp nails digging into Emma's skin. And as they worked, their laughter echoed through the rooms, chasing away the shadows. Every morning, she would go up there, sit amidst the clutter and read her aunt's diary, remembering Clara, the little girl in the nightgown. And then she saw it, a porcelain doll lying on a trunk, its glassy eyes staring blankly ahead. The attic was her favorite place, and it was here that she died. But Emma was undeterred. She saw beyond the peeling wallpaper in the overgrown garden, envisioning a home filled with laughter and light once more. In the corner of the attic, amidst the clutter, was a charred trunk, its lock melted and hanging open. Beside it lay a porcelain doll, its face blackened and features melted away. She moved in, determined to make the house livable, if not a home. As weeks turned into months, she tackled each room with the energy of youth and enthusiasm. Curiosity piqued, she pulled the tapestry aside and pushed the door open. Her friends thought she was crazy, taking on such a huge project single-handedly. But Emma was driven by a vision, a dream of breathing life back into the old house. It was during one of these renovation projects that she discovered the attic door, hidden behind a tapestry in the hallway. The air in the attic was stale, heavy with the scent of decay and something else. Something faintly metallic that made her stomach turn. She approached the doll cautiously, and as she did, it seemed to stare back at her, an eerie feeling crawling up her spine. Startled, she whirled around, her heart pounding. Emma stood before a full-length mirror, its ornate frame tarnished with age. But it wasn't the mirror itself that held her attention. Terror choked her as she spun around, but there was no one there. Days turned into weeks, and Emma couldn't shake off the unnerving encounter in the attic. Then one day, while sorting through her aunt's belongings, she found a diary. It began, the handwriting spidery and old. The diary spoke of a tragedy, a fire that took the life of a young girl in the house years ago. The girl's name, Clara. As Emma closed the diary, the attic door creaked open, as if beckoning her. The sight that greeted her was both heartbreaking and horrifying. It was the same doll she'd found on the day she moved in, but its evil grin and vacant stare had been replaced by a haunting visage of death. Suddenly, the attic grew colder, the air thick and suffocating. Her face was obscured by the darkness, but the stench of burning flesh and the sound of her ragged breathing were enough to send shivers down Emma's spine. Claire's eyes were wide and terrified, her skin a ghastly white. Terror froze Emma in place. She wanted to scream, to run, but fear had rendered her immobile. Then, with a speed that belied her emaciated form, Clara lunged. But the attic grew colder and darker, and Clara's grip tightened until it felt like ice-cold steel. This house wasn't just haunted, it was a prison, and she had unwittingly set the ghost free. Emma fought with everything she had, kicking, screaming, scratching, but it was no use. Just as Emma felt her strength ebbing, she caught sight of the diary lying on a nearby trunk. "Get back!" she cried, her voice hoarse with terror. "Stay away." In that instant, Emma scrambled back, her heart pounding. She knew she couldn't defeat the spirit, but maybe she could contain it. She read about Clara's life in the house, about her laughter and joy, about her love for the attic. When Emma finished, she looked up to see Clara watching her. Her eyes no longer filled with murderous intent, but with a strange, almost peaceful calm. She reached out a hand as if to touch Emma, then paused, her expression filled with a profound sadness. The attic grew quiet, the metallic scent fading away. Outside, the sun rose, bathing the world in a golden light. But the peace didn't last. Emma's friends had come to help. They were here to renovate, to repair, to bring life back into the old house. Emma watched them, a small smile playing on her lips. And she, Emma, was a part of it now. The attic, once a place of fear, was now a place of remembrance. For Emma knew that although some doors should remain closed, some mysteries are best left unsolved.